So Molori, we started the project in the deepest, darkest depths of the COVID uncertainty. And I think it was actually such a spark of joy in such a dark time. And in many ways, the fun and the frivolity of color and art and enjoyment and engagement was so welcome in this very disjointed, masked up world. And also planning for a world when visitors were coming back to South Africa was also, it was inspirational. And I think it was really for the whole team. A lot of people have said that you could feel the joy in the space, and it really was that. It is a joyful, wonderful space out of a very dark place. The interior direction at Molori was initially a very small, light intervention. And when we got to Molori and we started walking through the spaces and addressing the challenges, which the most prevalent was that it was circular buildings. So the proverbial trying to fit a square peg in a round hole was happening with traditional square shapes and square furniture. So the first thing we wanted to address was the circular nature of the architecture, so that the refreshed interior started marrying with the structure that was there. And then there was the element that I found that with the owners, there was this wonderful spirit of adventure. And I think that has 100% led the entire process. There were these wonderful gems of feedback and criticism and debate and discussion around what Molori is. And Molori ultimately means to dream. And I think in all honesty, it has been a dream project to work on. It's been glorious and fun and joyful, and all of that I think does come through in the ultimate result, which I hope visitors like. The floor rug project, which actually ended up becoming a project of its own, sort of parallel to the main interior refurbishment, was spurred on by the circular buildings and the owners' incredible collection of art. So they've got these, the artworks that I have had the privilege of seeing has been an honor of a lifetime, a designer's lifetime. So Koos is a colleague of mine. One kind of knew, but he was definitely way cooler than I am. So I sort of thought, okay, well, I'm gonna phone the cool kids, because the cool kids must know like how we can discuss like this art project of art on the floor. And it really started off as like a minor, Koos, you wanna make a rug? I've got this project, I need rugs, but they can't be normal rugs because, and you can make art, so can you make art and rugs? And so that Koos was like, yeah, I'll make a rug. So Koos and I started chatting, and then simultaneously and concurrently, he was sort of telling me about artworks that he had in his studio. And then we developed this theory as we conversed about Molori being a dream. So could we take artworks that hadn't seen the light of day from South African artists and translate them into floor coverings? Genuinely, probably 2 months of looking and calling and meetings, we found this company in Pinetown in Durban. We just bamboozled these poor people with pictures and hyper-controlling and demands for photos and development, which they embraced wholeheartedly. So what we then did is Koos simultaneously said, well, you know, why don't we ask this artist? Why don't we ask that artist? So it was a really natural, organic, like asking of people who would be interested to work on something as amazing as this. And the responses have just been incredible. So from Maya Marks, that has adored the process, to Jodie Paulson, who had all these component parts for his banana rugs. So the engagement with each of them was more about the ideas that they had that we could take. So they were just ideas, they were dreams that we could take and create a new picture of their dreams through Koos's graphic design eye. And then the highest risk portion was getting them to the factory where, because of COVID, we had very little control. So there was this incredibly collaborative, but by force process. So there was so much risk. I mean, there were no color charts, there were no color checks. It was all about trusting each other. And I think Molori, from a design perspective and as a designer who then had to address the challenge in a very challenging time, with a very unusual brief, with an extremely adventurous, curious, fun client. It defies all other genres that we currently see in the lodge world, and I design a fair number of lodges. So the genres are there, the rules are there, the lines are there, and Molori has opened up for people looking for an adventurous, spirited vision of a safari with all of the incredible connections with nature, but it's about joy and humor and entertainment and enjoying yourself. And I think that unabashed joy, I don't know how one actually replicates it, but that unabashed joy is translated, and I hope that the future guests, and I know they will, be absolutely literally, excuse the pun, floored by the experience of Molori. So from the service to the staff, to the experience, to the location, it's just a uniquely unusual package of wonderful curiosities.